They say every kingdom hides its sins in the dark, but none darker than the man whose face was never seen again. Sound, heavy carriage wheels over cobblestone, chains rattling. It was a stormy night when a carriage arrived at the gates of the Bastille. Inside sat a prisoner, silent, motionless, his head bound in cold iron. Not a hood, not a mask of leather, but a face of metal, forged to hide the man beneath. Sound, doors creaking open, rain pouring, guards murmuring. Guard 1, whispering, "Who is he?" Guard 2, "No one knows, only the king. He's to be locked away and forgotten." The orders were clear. He must live, but never be known. No name, no trial, no light, only silence. Sound, iron bars slam shut, echoes fade. The guards said he never spoke, never slept, but every night, from deep within his cell, came the sound of metal scraping stone, as if the mask itself was moving. Guard 3, frightened whisper, "It's the mask, it's breathing." At first, they thought it was imagination, until one night, a voice drifted through the darkness, low, almost human. Whisper through echoing metal, "The masked man. Do you know who I am?" Pause. Silent stretches. No one dared to answer, but one curious guard did. By dawn, he was gone. Sound, faint heartbeat, distant thunder. Narrator, chilling close. From that night on, the other guards swore. When the torches flickered and the halls grew cold, they could still hear it. The sound of a man breathing through iron. Years passed, and the man with the iron mask was moved again and again, from one prison to another. Each warden feared him. Each cell fell silent after his stay. A sound, metal chains dragging softly, faint whispers. Wherever he went, death followed. A fire consumed one fortress days after his transfer. In another, guards were found strangled in their sleep, their faces twisted in horror. SFX, distant screams fade under heavy breathing. Guard's voice, echoing memory. He doesn't move, but you can feel him watching. Even when his eyes are hidden, he sees. In the depths of the Bastille, where air was thick and time stood still, a young guard named Lucien was chosen to tend to him. A boy barely 20, brave enough, or foolish enough, to enter the cursed cell. SFX, door creaks open, torch crackles, slow footsteps. Lucien, whispering, "Sir, I've brought your food." The prisoner did not respond, only the slow rise and fall of his chest behind the iron mask. But when Lucien turned to leave, he heard it, a voice, muffled and metallic. The masked man, whispering, "Help me remove it." SFX, sudden silence, faint metallic hum builds tension. Lucien froze. Every instinct told him to run, but he turned and met the prisoner's eyes through the narrow slits of the mask. Eyes that didn't belong to a man, but to something ancient. Lucien, terrified whisper, "WH, what are you?" The masked man, softly, "A shadow of your king." SFX, violent gust of wind, torch extinguishes. When the other guards opened the cell the next morning, Lucien was gone. No struggle, no blood, only a trail of wet footprints leading into the shadows. SFX, echoing chains, dripping water, faint breathing. From that day on, the prison was never quiet again. Whispers crawled through the walls. Guards heard chains moving when no one was inside. Some claimed to see the iron mask hanging in empty cells, as if it had found new faces to wear. SFX, metallic scraping, heartbeat, whisper, "Do you know who I am?" Narrator, whispered close. They called him the Faceless Phantom, and wherever he went, the living did not stay for long. When the man in the iron mask finally died, his name, his crime, his very existence, vanished. No priest, no funeral, no grave. SFX, papers rustling, fire crackling faintly. His body was burned, his bed turned to ash, and every record erased from the royal archives. The king had given only one final command: the mask must never be removed. SFX, hammer striking nails, metallic echo. But when the guards sealed his cell, they found the iron mask nailed to the wall, as though someone wanted to make sure he could never wear it again. SFX, distant thunder, heartbeat fades in. The Bastille fell centuries later, its stones torn apart, its secrets dragged into daylight. But among the rubble, a team of workers uncovered the sealed cell. SFX, stone crumbling, tools clinking, echoes of wind through hollow space. Worker, muffled, "Hey, over here, there's something." Inside, they found the mask, rusted, still nailed to the wall, and when they lifted it, the air grew cold. The sound of breathing filled the room. SFX, deep metallic inhalation, echoing through empty halls. Worker 2, panicking, Did you hear that?" Terrified, they sealed the chamber again. Some say they buried the mask deep beneath the ruins. Others claim the king's descendants took it, to keep the curse from waking again. SFX, whispers overlapping, faint, "Do you know who I am?" But even now, on cold Paris nights, when the wind rattles the prison stones, people swear they hear it. Breathing. SFX, metallic echo, faint heartbeat, wind swelling into silence. Final words, chilling. Maybe he was the king's twin. Maybe a monster wearing a man's face. Or maybe the mask was never meant to hide him, but to contain him. Long pause, then faint whisper behind the narrator. The masked voice, "Do you know who I am?" SFX, heartbeat stops. Silence.